Good morning, you PBOptionMillionaires.com. It's a Thursday. It's October 9th, 2014, and stock futures are pulling back from their overnight highs, but we're still just a little bit lower than we were when we closed on Wednesday. That massive rally off the lows, the Fed minutes pretty much weakening the dollar and sending stocks to their biggest gain in 2014. So a little bit of pullback here is certainly not unwelcome. You don't want to see stocks continue to go straight up and confound the bears even further. Get a little bit of pullback, draw some more bearish sentiment into the market, and then pull up as we make our way to possible record highs. We have the U.S. dollars down over 30%. Crude oil is down. We have gold is up 2%. Bonds are being bought. The TLT is up here pre-market at a new multi-year high. And I brought TLT up, and I'll bring it up in a minute. But let's look at the S&P 500. And I talked about this, the Abenomics 2012 trend line. Barron's was talking about it this morning, saying that Fat Lady is going to sing, as in we've finally broken below that trend line. You can see we did break below it. We broke below it briefly last week, and I'll pull in a little closer and I'll show you that. And we broke below it yesterday. Okay, last week we broke below it. We got back above it. We broke below it, and we didn't just come up to, a lot of times you look at a chart and it'll be like, all right, well, it'll come right back up to that former support line that is now acting as resistance, and it'll stop there, and then it'll resume its, nasty decline. But in this case, again, I talked about it last night, my video, if you want to look that up at Option Millionaires, I did a recap of yesterday's action. We didn't stop there, we kept going, and if you would have scripted what would have got the market off its doldrums, this perfect double bottom, and then a move back over that 2012 trend line support. We're over it now. So, to me it looks very bullish, and you want to look at some other charts that also kind of, hold that same theme. We have IWM looked really bearish here for a little bit yesterday. I said it yesterday in the video. I said, hey, if we didn't get this snapback rally, we could be looking at the end of this bull run. I mean, yesterday's rally, as much as you want to look at it as just some sort of a relief rally, this rally kind of, it validated that there's continued upside in this market. If we end up going to 2100 or 2200 on the S&P 500, this rally will be why, because we were right there. I mean, we were backed in the corner. And I would say we, because I'm a bull in this market. As long as the trend remains to the upside, I'm a bull. So include me in. Back in 2008 and 2009, even 2010 and 2011, I was busy fighting this market. And I came to my senses, about 3.5, 4 years ago, because I like to make a profit. Those of you who are still fighting this because you don't agree with the policy of the central banks globally, yeah, you and your money will be departed. It's a matter of fact. It's just what's been going on. But if we didn't get this rally yesterday, we're looking at possible significant downside. But we got it. This rally is intact. To me, it lends some confidence to this market in the fact that we could see, and if you look at the IWM, this the small caps, there's a piece in Market Watch, which, I like looking at for contrarian articles, but I agree with the one article in there and look at this bullish hammer reversal on the weekly here, off support, that this is the time to be buying the small caps again, and that we could see a move back up to 120. I mean, wouldn't that, even if that's it, if we hit up to 120 and then we collapse from there, wouldn't that just baffle the bears again? I mean, that's what it's all about, it seems like these days. But again, look at the trend. The trend is to the upside. We get these pullbacks where we draw people in to the short side, but we snap back and snap back. And we've been consolidating. It's been pretty easy here to pull these, trade for downside. But here we are at support. We bounced perfectly. So we have two big ETFs that have bounced off support and are up over it now. So that's bullish news in my opinion. We have stocks like Apple that are getting upgraded every day. Apple, the largest cap company in the entire planet. Look at this formation now. If you want to look, there's a long-term pattern. I bring this up all the time. That we're in leg 3 or wave 3 of an upside. We have this W bottom. Look at this W bottom. See, there's an example of a W bottom. Look how it's resolved. I don't know, 100% to the upside. That's a pretty good W bottom in my book. So we have a nice W bottom for stocks short term in it. So I'm not saying 100%, but I'm saying there's a good chance we're going to rally off that W bottom. They work pretty well. Nice double bottom. And then look at this. And you can see it's coming into a beautiful wedge. We had that with S&P 500 futures on Tuesday. We had this beautiful wedge from higher prices. And we were going to break one way or another. I'm gonna. So we broke significantly to the downside on S&P 500 futures, and we continued that the next day. Apple upgraded. I think the bias is to the upside. This wedge is going to break to the upside. We're going to hit record prices. So I'm going to get you. We have Google off its lows yesterday. It was at 575. Nice move. Again, consolidation. This was a nice cup and handle formation, but that handle's getting pretty long. That's a long handle. I don't know how many people buy a cup or a mug that's got a handle that long. It's like, here, honey, we can both hold this handle while I drink my 12 ounces of beer. So Google is still consolidating here, but I'd look for it. Again, I still think it's going to move back over 600 and to record prices. This morning we have DDD, a little bit of a bid there. I see it was over 43. I was pulling back a little bit with stock futures, but let's keep an eye on this one. Also, XONE, the bid was 19. Look at you see the price up 9%. There was a bid there at 19 this morning. Right now it's at 18 and 18.90. So something's going on with the 3D stocks. So just keep an eye on them. I don't know if there was a meeting. You can see the late day rally in XONE. It was like, yeah, listen, I just talked to my friend over at Morgan Stanley. There's this big acquisition. They're going to buy them out for 40% more than the stock's trading. Oh, hold on a second. Nobody's going to see this. So if you see a big move in XONE or some news come out, somebody's got to be a little more discreet when they're making their insider transactions. It's like, hey, you know what? They know the option market now. Let me just go ape nuts on this. Honey, yeah, I just went long XONE with all the money we have and then some. So anyway. All right, UPB here. The market, we have futures pulling back a little bit. We're bouncing off the 1960 level on the S&P 500 futures. I like to say it out in the long one. Instead of 1960, I said 1960 makes me sound like a professional. And then we pull back to the 1960. Excuse me, sir, we have a failed trendline violation on the 1960. Oh, I'm right at it, buddy. Gotcha. So we're up to 1961. We'll see if we can get this is, hey, in the long-term scheme of things, this is a beautiful flagpole, and this is a flag flapping in the 15 to 25 mile an hour breeze. Let's look at just a couple more, and then I'm going to call it a morning and then move on to whatever else I do in the morning. CLF, I talked about this in my video last night. I know, a stock that's been beaten down 50% in the last month and a half, certainly not something you want to be buying. But it hit support here, bounced, and then it's come back through. Look at the volume. What I like here is, look at this nice little hammer pattern. This is a weekly chart. Let's pull it a little closer. Get a little closer. So that beautiful hammer pattern. Again, I pointed out last night we had a hammer pattern a couple weeks ago. Not a couple weeks ago, a week ago. And did not work so well. Actually, the next day was a $2.50 downside day. So are we going to see $6? Possible, but I think yesterday's action, and again, the sale of non-core assets. When you eat an apple, you just want to peel off the peel and the meaty part and keep the core for yourself. Honey, yeah, give the good stuff to everybody else. I'll eat the pits and that grainy core, because that's the assets I like. So, all right, UPB here. OptionMillionaires.com. Everyone have a great trading session. We'll see what some of these stocks do. DDD. I'm in VMW calls. TLT. Oh, I've said I would do TLT, and let's do TLT because it's right up at 119. After the bell today, it's at before the bell, it's at 119.50. So we'll see what happens. I love this level. I love it. Did I say that already? I love this level for a pullback. We'll see what happens. All right, everyone have a great trading session. I'll see you in the chat room. Goodbye.